Yeah, come on in and join me. I'm going to get set up here. Jam session today, last workshop of January. I can't believe we are already at the end of January. That is amazing. So, I want y'all to tell me, I posted today this quote that was basically something that came to me as I've been working through a lot of stuff personally and in my business. And so I'm just going to read to you this quote that I came up with. So, if we embrace possibility the way that we embrace fear, just think how we can change the world, right? And this was me speaking to myself over the past couple of weeks. But I want y'all to think about that. As it's January, it's the time for letting go and for setting intentions, right? I talk about that cycle all the time. The cycle of letting go on Sunday and setting intentions on Monday, of doing it monthly, of the importance of that, of letting that stuff fall away behind you. And January is a time when we really do that because we set these New Year's resolutions, right? And we say, this year is going to be so different. This year is going to be great. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to get out of debt. I'm going to be a better person. I'm going to be a better friend. I'm going to spend more time with people I love. Whatever. All those things, okay? And we set all of these intentions, and yet so many times it doesn't work. And just talking with you guys, I've already discovered that there is a great sense of frustration of the fact that you're having trouble getting it going, right? Every time you try and move forward, every time you think, okay, you know what, now I'm ready. I'm going to get out of debt. I'm going to stop being, held down by finances. I'm going to take that next step in my business, whatever. And then all of a sudden, wham, you get hit with this thing that knocks you back. And the question is, why does this happen, okay? And I'm going to give you 3 possibilities of why every time you try and get out of a negative, it comes back to hit you. Then we're going to do an exercise that will help you reframe and look at possibility instead of fear. And then I'm going to give you some exciting sneak peeks. So we're going to do a Q&A that has to do with this, and then exciting sneak peeks into what's coming up in February for the Creativity Club. So if you can grab 2 pieces of paper for me and a pen, divide a piece of paper in half if you need to. That's what you're going to need for us to do this exercise. And I can see Chloe and Ida. Whoever else is there, let me know. I would love to say hi. And we're going to get started in just a second after I drink this water. Also, as y'all can see, this looks different behind me. Sorry, it's a little bit of a mess right now, but I actually moved my entire studio. That was one of my big things for January, was that I moved the entire studio into Alan's studio, so we're now sharing it. So that's kind of his mess back there. He's usually very neat, but it's from moving everything. So now I've got this entire wall, and my wall is beautiful, and I wish you could see that rather than behind me, but anyways, so we're in transition here. But hi, Ann. Thank you for joining us. So let's talk about this, okay? Why is it that when we set these intentions, we set these New Year's resolutions, we take that step forward and say, okay, I believe I can do it this time. This time I can get out of debt. This time I can lose weight. This time I can stop being whatever. And why does that end up that those things keep clinging to us tighter and tighter, and we can't let them go, okay? There are 3 reasons why when you take a step forward, you keep getting pulled back, okay? And reason 1 is lack of gratitude. Now, this is in some ways the simplest and also in some ways an incredibly hard one, okay? Basically, what happens is if you are grateful for what you have, that is a signal to the universe that you would like more of that, right? You know what? I am just so grateful that I have this studio. Even though I'm crammed into a space with my boyfriend, I have so much more space here than I did before. I am so grateful for this. And I believe that the next step is for me to have a studio outside of the home. But being frustrated about not having a studio outside of the home is not going to get me that studio. Being grateful for where I am opens you up and says, you know what? If I'm grateful about this, I'm going to be grateful about whatever else comes. And therefore, that allows the universe to give that to me, right? We want to talk about this in terms of energy. I am at the vibration of gratitude for what I have, I'm just going to pull more things that are even better versions of what I have into my life, okay? That's the way that the vibration of that works. But the second one, okay, we haven't learned the lesson. The second reason why this thing keeps coming back to you, why every time you say, I'm going to get out of debt, you keep getting dragged back into debt, is because there is a lesson there. There is a gift inside of every struggle. And that is true whether or not it's a struggle of like an annoyance. You know, I'm at the grocery store and the line is long and I have so much to do. Ugh. You know, there's a lesson there about patience and about setting yourself up for success by giving yourself more time, right? And even the life-changing, life-altering, terrible crises that happen to us, there is always a gift of a lesson there, a gift of how will this make me stronger, okay? I was watching an Oprah special that she did years ago about The Secret on YouTube, and she was, you know, that movie, The Secret, and she was interviewing the panel that had been in the movie. And so the exercise actually comes from this, because I thought they had a great way of putting this. But basically, one thing that one of the guys said was, if this terrible situation that I'm in had to last forever, where would I need to grow in my life in order to have peace of mind? Okay? If the state that you're in, of not having enough money, of being sick, of having stress, of whatever it is that you want to get out of, if that was going to last forever, how would you have to grow as a person in order to still have peace of mind, in order to get through, in order to be okay? That very, very often is your lesson. If it's being patient, if it's recognizing what you do have, if it's better planning, if it's not being present in a situation, whatever it is, that very often is a lesson you need to learn so that it can stop happening, okay? You know, if you keep inviting negative people into your life, what's the lesson about why is that happening, so that once you learn that lesson, you'll stop doing it, okay? So that's the second one, but neither of those are the ones I really want to focus on today. That's food for thought for you guys for later. The third one, and what I really want to talk about, is because you're actually focusing on the negative that you want to get rid of rather than the positive that you want to bring into your life, okay? And you don't realize that you're doing it. We do this all the time. I'm going to give you some examples. I want to stop being fat. I want to get out of debt. I want to stop getting sick all of the time. I want to stop being so stressed out. I want to stop having to work until midnight. I want to stop having to stay up so late and do my business. Anytime you say any of those words like fat, debt, sick, stressed, I want y'all to tell me right in the comments, how does that make you feel? How does the word fat make you feel? How does the word stress make you feel? How does the word debt make you feel? Right? Does it make you feel energetic? Does it make you feel like you can take on the world? Does it make you feel like you're vibrating high? No. Those words are attached to negative emotions, are attached to negative vibrations, low vibrations, which bring you into that exact thing that you do not want, rather than allowing you to escape it. Okay? So, yeah, Joanne, it drained you. That sense that when you say, I want to get out of debt, you've just put that word debt into your own mind. And that word debt is a stressor. That word debt causes fear. That word debt makes you feel like you're not doing a good job at life, right? Cannot be anybody in this room that is watching this with me that has not been here, right, with a financial issue. Anytime you focus on the issue, then you just feel like, oh, you know, I'm trying to believe, but like, I just don't see it, okay? So anytime that you're saying, I want to get rid of that, that is still there. You're still putting that vibration out there. You're still living within that zone. And so the question is, how do we not do that, right? Okay, so Chloe, it's really true. It always takes your power away from making a change. Yes. It's not that you don't want to recognize that you're there, but you don't want to recognize that that it has power over you and you're trying to struggle out of it, right? You want to head towards the positive thing, and then that is empowering. So if you want to get out of debt, or you want to stop being fat, or you want to stop being sick, what we need to focus is on the words that you can say that actually empower you, that boost your vibration, that raise your vibration, that help you create an environment in which that positive situation can live. Okay? You're not going to have lots of money in a negative, stressed out situation about whether or not you're going to have enough money. You are not creating room for that. So remember when we talked about vision boards, right, guys? So I actually created two, because y'all know I did one with my local people, and then I did one with you guys. This is the second one, so you haven't seen it yet. This is actually my vision board that is part of the sneak peek we're going to talk about later. But look at all of these positive things. This happy lady in her little spa outfit, lady down here drinking coffee, looking happy exercising, this like beautiful house out in the woods, all of that stuff. Okay, now if I want to exercise more and I want to get as fit as possible, on my vision board, do I put a photo of a couch potato? Someone that weighs more than I weigh? Someone that even a bad picture of myself because I don't want to look that way anymore? Absolutely. Why would you do that? You put the image of the thing that you want. And then, as we talked about in the vision boarding, you actually enter into that emotion, that sense when I look at it. When I look at this, I think, man, how amazing does that feel? To just get in the shower, lay in the shower for 30 minutes, let the water run over me, don't worry about anything, let my mind wander, and just chill out. And then get out, wrap up in a towel, drink my coffee, whatever. How amazing does that feel? This is what I want in life. Rather than putting the picture of the frazzled person in the morning that I don't want to be. Okay? Does that make sense? So we can do the same things with words. It's the exact same thing that you're going to inspire yourself to reach this potential rather than reminding yourself of what you're running away from. Okay? So here's the word version, and this is an exercise again. If y'all want to watch the whole The Secret on Oprah thing, I really liked it because it was basically Oprah was saying like, I didn't know it was a secret. Like, this is the stuff I've been talking about for forever. And I just love the fact that the truth is the truth, and it's just finding ways to express it to people that they can receive. So anyway, so here's the word version that they talk about. So what I want you to do is take one piece of paper and another piece of paper, and on the left-hand piece of paper, I want you to write down, okay, what do you not want in life? What is the thing that you're running away from, that you're growing past, that you're letting go of? What is it that you do not want in your life? And I want to give you a few minutes, just write down a couple, because y'all can sit still and quiet later and do this on your own. But what do you not want? Okay? And the examples of that would be, I do not want stress about money. I do not want to feel like like my weight is keeping me from being healthy. I do not want to feel frazzled all the time. I do not, whatever it is, I do not want. And then that negative thing that you do not want anymore. And I want you guys to write those down, okay? Get just a couple for me. And then I want you to take the next page, your right-hand page, and I want you to write the positive opposite of that, okay? The positive opposite of that. So, let me see. I did my own. Let me see if I can find an example, real-life example. Okay. So, I wrote down, my first one was, I do not want to fail at this endeavor that I'm so passionate about, okay? If you have a thing in business, if you have a thing in your life that you just want so bad for it to work, but you keep waking up every morning and just let it not fail, just let it not fail. How negative is that? Versus, so instead of, I don't want to fail at this endeavor that I'm so passionate about, what will exist in my life? I will succeed in all my goals to make the world a better place. I will succeed in all of my goals to make the world a better place. Okay? You know, I don't want to be stressed about making enough money every month. I will know the peace of financial abundance. So whatever the language is, you know, that's the language that appeals to me, because that's who I am. It's the way that I speak. Whatever the language is that appeals to you about any of these topics. And the beautiful thing is that because we're all humans, we're all made up of the same stuff. So we all have these same issues, these same desires, just in kind of variety of detail. But this all, anything that I would tell you is on my list would totally speak to you, and what's on your list speaks to me. So we're not alone in this struggle, and we're not alone in this propensity to focus on the negative and running away from it rather than the positive. This is where we all are constantly, no matter how long you live. This is a thing to remind yourself of. So if you have one that you want to write down, help each other's through. If you have suggestions of the negative and the positive pairing that it works for you, I'm sure somebody else has probably your thing on their list too, okay? And why does that work? Someone tell me, does that feel like truth to you? Do you understand? Does that resonate? The fact that waking up every day and saying, I will succeed in all of my goals that are to help make the world a better place, right? How much more am I going to get done today if that is my mode, rather than I just don't want to fail at this thing that is so important to me, right? So you can see the vibration, the emotion of those two statements. So what I want you to do is I want you all to take some time this afternoon, whenever you get a chance, and I want you to do this exercise. And then, once you're sure that you're good, I want you to either throw away or burn, whatever makes you happy, that list of what you don't want in your life, right? The one that said at the top, what I do not want. I want you to get rid of that. Make it go away. It's gone. That's the letting go process. The letting go process is the identifying with that state of being. Stop identifying with the problem and start identifying with the future abundance. So you get rid of that bad, negative list, and I want you to take what will exist in my life, or however you want to say that, positive opposite, right? The positive things that are coming. I want you to take that list, and I want you to either hang it on your wall right next to your vision board, or I want you to put it in the front of your gratitude journal, because either of those is incredibly beneficial for them. But both of those are incredibly important for every single day of my life, right? To look at the vision board and to enter into the emotional state that future positive abundance is going to bring me, and doing my gratitude journal where I say, I am grateful for, I am abundant because my focus today is. Either one of those places is an excellent place to have the backup of these words, of these sentences. So that is what I want you to do. There's just been so much talk in the group, which I love. I adore the fact that we can tell each other what's going on, and this is a place where you can say, this is really my struggle, and I'm trying so hard to work through it. That's amazing. That's what the group is here for. But it's so interesting how they have all been kind of the same thing. Of like, I started out January with a bang, and then really a bang, I had all of this terrible stuff happen to me. And I really believe that that we need to reframe and not be running away from the negative, but be running to the positive. And that will really help us start every day and actually make further ground. So, let me see. Yep, that's it. So every day, enter into the emotional state of that sentence. What is it going to feel like when I have the peace of financial abundance? Like, that is just a beautiful sentence. I will experience the peace of financial abundance. And you can't tell me that there's not a human that does not feel that way. That's a desire, and that would just be like right here at your heart, that would just be a wonderful thing to feel. The peace of financial abundance, right? Of not worrying, of being able to do with your money what you want, which is to make the world a better place, right? That is the energy you want to be in, the energy of service, the energy of what can I do to help someone today? How can I make the world a better place, rather than how can I not fail? Okay? Those are two totally different things. So the side of this that I've talked about a lot before is, if we want to talk about science, is cognitive dissonance. When you tell your brain I will succeed in every goal that will help make the world a better place. I will succeed. Your brain says, what? Really? Oh, I thought yesterday we were just surviving. Okay, so today we're succeeding. All right. So it's your brain's job biologically to make that true. Your brain is a problem solver. It says, these two things do not compute, what we have here and what you're saying here, and they make them match. And so what you want to be matching is the positive, not the negative. Not, I don't want to fail. Saying the word fail, 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 your brain is thinking in terms of fail. Saying the word succeed, 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 your brain is thinking in terms of succeed, and it maps you into success. So Jen asked me, is it best to create plans starting with the week and moving up to the quarterly, or the other way around? Right, guys? So in the beginning of the month, we did the How to Plan for an Abundant 2018. And I told you, start with your entire year goal, break it into 4 quarters, break that into months, 12 months, and then break that into your weeks and days, okay? And so what Jen was saying was, okay, she's trying to work through this, and I'm imagining her thinking, boy, it sure is easier to just create my weeks and months and then think in terms of quarters. It just makes so much more sense to just, I'm here now, why don't I just work forward through my weeks, and then, okay, so these weeks create a quarter, and those other weeks create a quarter. That makes logical sense because you're there, because it takes no effort to say, what am I going to do today and tomorrow and the next day? But what I'm telling you that you need to do is put in that effort now so that there's a ripple effect, a domino effect, and everything falls into place towards where you want to go. So I'm going to answer this question. I talk about this in that first video. So if you want to go back and watch that video for more clarity, if you have the same question that Jen had, go back and watch that and listen to what I say there again, just to get clear. But I want to answer this in terms of what we're talking about, the exercise we just did, because it totally maps. So if you're building weekly to quarterly, basically what you're doing is creating a to-do list that very easily becomes how to get out of crisis mode, or how to keep from getting behind, right? Okay, if I do all of this stuff, I won't get behind. Okay, if I do all this stuff, then I'll catch up from yesterday. If I do all this stuff, then I won't be in like crisis mode, and I'll be able to like actually breathe. Those are the lists that we create for ourselves. The list of, I tend to do this. Oh, I hate that page on my website. Today, I'm just going to fix that entire page. I'm just going to make that page less of a mess. Okay? Do y'all see how that is framing negatively versus framing positively? But how do you know what the positive is? The positive is your entire year goal and your quarter goal and then your month goal. You set those positive big goals. Then when you go to create your weekly plan, they're all steps toward a goal rather than steps away from the thing you don't want anymore. Okay? So the negative, when you create just to-do lists, that negative energy, that negative wording creeps in really, really, really easily. And what you do is you end up with the cart before the horse, right? Y'all know that phrase. You end up piling this cart full of all of these things that you're going to do to stop having your life be a total wreck, right? You got to do this and this and this and this and this. You're going to pile that cart really high, put the horse behind it, and say, head towards our positive goal. But the horse cannot even see the goal. The horse is being blinded by all of your stressed out to-do list, okay? What you need is to put your horse first, tell the horse where we're going, and then head him in that direction. And then all the stuff that is behind, all that to-do list stuff takes care of itself because it is headed towards a mission, okay? That is a mixed metaphor if I ever heard one, but I hope that it speaks to you. I hope that that makes sense. So here is how you do this, okay? You get super clear on your positive end goal. And I tell you what, there's another metaphor for this, not really metaphor. In the Marines, you can look up a video on Marines end goal. And I bet there are people who talk about this all the time. In the Marines, you have to have a positive end goal, which is stay alive or, take over the city or get the captives back or, you know, take out that target or whatever it is, right? Reaching that positive end goal is like key. It's not like we almost did it. No, you don't almost did it in the Marines. You have to know what that goal is, and you work backwards to get you to that goal. So that the whole SMART goal thing, all of that stuff, it's really based on the idea that if you know what the goal is, then there is an extremely higher likelihood of reaching the goal than if you say, okay, I'm going to put this stuff together and it's kind of headed in a positive direction. What you're telling yourself is it doesn't really matter if I reach the goal or not. It just matters if I get this stuff done, because you've put this stuff before thinking about the goal, okay? So I'm going to give you an example. Since I just moved my studio, I've got this on the brain. So, example. Here's what I said to myself. I want to create a clean, organized, and inspiring office space. A clean, organized, and inspiring office space. That was on my goal for 2018. And then when I started doing the quarters, I was like, okay, you know what? This has got to be quarter 1, because having a clean, organized, inspiring office space is going to make it so much easier for me to get all the other stuff done that's going to make my business succeed, right? Being in an inspiring studio is going to help me to create inspired ideas, help me to create inspired products, and talk to you guys in an inspired way, versus being in a cramped little space and feeling cramped and little, okay? So what I said was, I want to create an organized, inspiring, and clean work environment. Now, so then you say to yourself, okay, so this week I'm going to find a home for everything on my desk that's going to help me streamline my process, okay? Everything that's just laying out here, I'm going to find a place for it so that when I go to do something, it's what I need is in reach when I need it. And then after I've done that, I'm going to find attractive boxes so that when I put them up, all of the stuff that I have to store somewhere, so that it all looks neat and clean and inspiring, right? It just looks like what I want it to look like. So that's the kind of list that I create. And I head towards that goal, and I do a little bit a day of that, okay? But what's the other way to look at that, and the way that we want to look at that naturally is, okay, so this office is driving me crazy. Here's what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm making my to-do list. So this week, I'm gonna get this mess off my desk. No matter if it kills me, I'm gonna get this mess off my desk, get it out of my way. It's gonna be so much better if I can just get rid of the mess. And then once I've done that, I'm gonna figure out where to put all this storage stuff. Like there's got to be a better way to do this. Like the storage stuff is just driving me crazy, and if I could just move that, then it would be better, right? So I've created 2 things to do, and it's the same things, but the way that I've said them says to me, clean up your mess, Erin. You're a wreck. Your place is a wreck. Fix it, or else bad things are going to happen, or else you're not going to be able to make your business goals. So you better fix it now, right? If you just start doing that, and as I said, I do this with my website. Oh, I hate that page. If I could just do this and this and this and this and this, it would be so much better than it is right now. Stop. Breathe. First of all, it's fine, okay? If you're surviving, if you're doing okay, it's fine. What you want to do is, what do I really want? And I project out and I say, I want a beautiful website page that tells people all about the Creativity Club and how wonderful it is, and just makes them really want to join us, okay? Now, what's the first step to that, okay? Think through what's so wonderful about it. What's the next step? Create some images that are so, rather than there's nowhere on my website to tell people how wonderful the Creativity Club is. I got to create this. I got to blah, 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 blah. So, in answer to Jen's question, the long way around is absolutely bigger and then smaller, because the bigger is the positive place that you're headed to, and the smaller will work towards that, rather than creating a bunch of steps to get you away from a negative, which focuses you back on the negative, okay? So, losing weight. What's my goal? My goal is to feel energetic and like I could really do anything. I could go climb a mountain if I wanted to, okay? Now, let me work back from that. So, in order to do that, I'm going to need to be able to to walk for, I don't know, let's say I could walk for 2 hours easily. That's a good goal first. So how do I get from that? Okay, well, right now I really can't walk very much at all. So I'm gonna go for 15 minutes a day, because if I do 15 minutes a day, and then if I can do next month, if I do 30, eventually I'm gonna be able to start using the stair stepper, and then I'm gonna be able to eventually go climb that mountain. Okay? Rather than, I am so out of shape. I have got to get into better shape. This is nuts. Okay, I'm gonna go to the gym, and I'm just gonna make it happen. I figure if I can walk 15 minutes, like that's better than what I could do yesterday. So let me just try and do 15 minutes. And once I can do that, that'll be a little bit better than yesterday. And then I'll try for 30, right? And that second example is thinking about the past and the negative and holding it to you. Whereas wanting to climb a mountain or wanting to do whatever it is that your physical health is holding you back from, that all of your goals are headed towards this beautiful positive. Right? And that is what you want to be doing. That is how you create the environment of vibration that allows that to come into your life. That's where you create more energy. That's where you create more passion for yourself, is by heading towards a positive. So for all the reasons that I said, practical reasons that I said before in the other video, and for all of these more inspirational and metaphysical reasons, yes, you want to start big, and then you want to go small. If you look for it, you'll find it. If you look for illness, you'll find it. If you look for health, you'll find it. If you look for wealth, you'll find it. If you look for poverty, you'll find it. Because your brain is more powerful than you think, okay? You have no idea the possibilities that are in your brain. You don't know all the good things it can do for you, and you don't know all the negative things that it is currently doing for you. But open yourself up to the possibility that you can create an environment of wealth. You can create an environment of health. And so what I'm not telling you, don't take action. I'm absolutely not saying that. I'm not saying, you know what, just assume it's going to be okay and go live your life and, you know, everything will work out. Not saying that. What I'm saying is your action needs to be toward your potential positive outcome rather than away from the negative potential outcome. You need to be headed toward something rather than headed away from something. Does that make sense? Is everybody on the same page with me? I hope so. So, action towards a positive rather than action away from a negative. Words towards a positive rather than words away from negative. Images on your vision board towards a positive rather than images away from a negative. Okay? Y'all are all amazing. Thank you for staying with me to 2:05. If you have questions about that, if you have follow-up questions about the exercise, join me tonight. I would love to see you again at 8. And I'm excited. So y'all have a fantastic rest of your day, a fantastic rest of your month. And let's get excited about February and opening up our creative minds. All right, guys? Love you guys. I will talk to you soon. Bye.